G'day, I'm Warwick Schiller and we're riding camels in the Gobi. Yeehaw! You're a big man. G'day everyone. Usually it's about this time of year that I post my year-end adventure video from the last year with all the different places I got to go to and all the exciting things I got to do, and pretty much like everybody else I was at home most of the year, but luckily enough my son and I had an adventure at the start of the year last year that was enough adventure for the rest of the year. So I figured instead of showing you guys a end of year video showing most of what I did last year, which would be sitting at home twiddling my thumbs, I'd show you what we did in January. So January last year, my son Tyler and I went on a 10-day camel expedition across the Gobi Desert. We covered 300 kilometers in 10 days in the dead of winter, and every night we would stay with a nomadic family in the traditional nomadic ger, the nomadic tent that they have. And how I got onto this trip was I was invited by a girl named Chloe Phillips Harris, who I've known for a number of years now. She's a horsewoman and adventurer from New Zealand. Chloe initially went to Mongolia to compete in the Mongol Derby, which is a 1,000-kilometer horse race across the plains of Mongolia. It's in the summertime though, on these little half-trained or untrained Mongolian ponies. And Chloe kind of fell in love with Mongolia and has been back there, couple of times a year ever since, including going all up to the northern part of Mongolia and hanging with the Duka people, who are the reindeer people. And she's been there in the summer and the winter. She's quite the adventurer. You know, there's a meme on Facebook that shows a Mongolian warrior on his Mongolian pony wearing a wolfskin cloak with a hunting eagle on his arm. And the meme says, "You might be cool, but you're not Mongolia, a warrior riding his Mongolian pony wearing a wolfskin cloak with a hunting eagle on your arm cool." Well, if you go on Chloe Phillips Harris' Facebook profile picture, there is a picture of Chloe Phillips Harris riding a Mongolian pony wearing a wolfskin cloak with a Mongolian hunting eagle on her arm. So Chloe teamed up with a couple of other Mongolians, Big Man and Tess, a few years ago to start this company to have people come and experience what the real Mongolia is like. And so this camel trip we went on, it was the third one that they've done. That was the third year in a row they've done it. We all arrive in Ulaanbaatar, which is the capital of Mongolia. And so we got there probably a day and a half before we had to leave for the desert. So we got to look around Mongolia, have a look around Ulaanbaatar, do a bit of shopping. We got to go out to the Genghis Khan statue, which is it's amazing, this stainless steel statue out in the middle of nowhere. It's about an hour's drive out of Ulaanbaatar, and an hour's drive out of Ulaanbaatar there's just nothing there. And it's 141 feet tall, I think, this stainless steel statue of Genghis Khan. And it's situated on a building, and you go into the building and you actually take an elevator up the horse's tail, walk through his body, and you come out a set of stairs that's built into like his neck. You walk up the stairs and you actually can stand on the top of this statue's head, and you can look back at the statue of Genghis Khan up close. And it's pretty amazing. You know, I've seen pictures of it before, but it's not something I ever dreamed that I would ever get to see. And so we got to look around a little bit, but then there was 12 of us on the trip, and we all piled into these little vans, and off we went and drove about 650 k's, I think, kilometers that is. That's about 450 miles, I suppose, out into the desert and covered, we started out just driving on this real flat road and herds of Mongolian ponies beside the road. And as we got further out into the desert, we encountered all kinds of terrain, and it was a really interesting drive. Not so much, we couldn't see that much out the windows initially. It was so cold that we had to scrape the ice off the inside of the windows. We're actually playing what we'd call in Australia noughts and crosses. I think in America they call it tic-tac-toe, but we're playing it with scratching that into the ice on the inside of the window. But we arrived at our camp out there. Oh, towards the end of the day, the sun was just going down. We got out and we got to see the camels, got to see our gers, so the nomadic tents, had some dinner, and then we got to go inside. And part of the cost of the trip is they deck you out in traditional Mongolian gear, and so we had this big presentation to where we all got to receive our. So we have these really long, like knee-high fur boots, and then you have a long bathrobe-looking thing called a dal, I think they pronounce it. It's spelled D-E-E-L, but I think they pronounce it dal. Then there's a coat that goes over the top of that, and then you have a fox fur-lined hat, and so we all got to be presented with those. And the Mongolians, when you get into those things, they help each other dress, and so there's this big, long, like satin sash that goes around your waist, and so someone will tie that around your waist for you. And they take great pride in seeing who can tie it the tightest. It's every day someone will dress you in your thing, and every day is like we all got to where what we'd do is we'd take a big breath and push our stomach out when they did it up, so that when they did it up tight you could relax and it didn't cut you in half all day. But if you didn't do that, you had to ride around all day with your tummy being cut in half. We finished out that first evening listening to some traditional Mongolian horse-neck fiddle and some Mongolian throat singing, which is, if you haven't ever heard that before, it's a pretty interesting sort of sound. So join me in the next episode, and it'll be our first day riding the camels, where we ride to a camel festival and get to watch some camel races and actually participate in a camel beauty competition.